lead after Centennial got out to the hot 8-2 start. We'll get going with the storylines here, Trevor, but so far, an early onslaught from Centennial answered nicely by Ridgeview.
Yeah, very much so. I thought Centennial kind of held the tempo early on, and then Ridgeview, a team that usually doesn't have to play in a half-court set, I think finally settled in and learned their different roles, and they've been able to kind of, counteract that against Centennial's. And both of these teams, obviously, are very athletic, very aggressive teams. So I think both teams are finally settled in, and we're going to have a very close game throughout.
And the two storylines of the team's seasons, not particularly close. You have Ridgeview on one hand, which has feasted on mostly inferior competition. A couple of tough games in there, but the Wolfpack is 13-0. And really only one or two tests in their period. Centennial, meanwhile, is 7-8. But as they tie the game with that Zach Doherty free throw, that's Alec Check free throw, excuse me. Ridgeview retakes the lead on Pardeep Dehane's long two-point jumper, 11-9 Wolfpack. Centennial 7-8 against a very tough schedule and playing part of that time without Malcolm Johnson, their power forward, who's been injured. So it's been a tale of two seasons for these two teams, but they converge here. Ridgeview trying to stay undefeated before they play Central at Central in Fresno tomorrow night.
Right, and that Centennial team started off, they went 2-0, and there was two big wins there. Pardeep Dehane with a miss there, rebound by Malcolm Johnson.
And Dehane really thought he had that one, started running the other way before the shot hit the rim. He grabs the rebound on the other side and outlets to Roberts.
Like I was saying,
Roberts takes it strong inside, and they'd call a jump ball.
Looks like Malcolm Johnson got his hand in there, was able to get that call.
Straight down on top of the ball.
Exactly. Centennial, like you said, played the first 5 games without Malcolm Johnson. 2 of those games against Emmanuel and against Clovis. There were 2 very good Central Section teams, but you got to figure both. The Emmanuel game was not close, but that Clovis North game, which was at the Clovis North tournament, you got to figure, could Centennial have won that game with Malcolm? Maybe so.
So in many ways, this sort of like a county championship game. These teams in different leagues, in different playoff divisions, so this is the only time they will play. They could very well end up being the best teams in town, and there's a drive and a score for Isaiah Green. Ridgeview now on an 11-1 run, and they lead 13-9.
Isaiah Green, the new guy on the squad for Ridgeview, just became eligible this week after a transfer.
And there is that three-pointer to break that run apart.
Kyle Hunt.
And Kyle Hunt's 3 makes it 13-12 Wolfpack. With 1:03 to play in the first quarter. As again, we joined you late. We'll get you set on what happened at the end of this quarter. Dehane backing a man down, and no foul called initially, and then he tripped over his defender and draws the foul. So that foul goes against Hunt, and it will not be a shooting foul. Ridgeview will take the ball in out of bounds.
Centennial did finish off their December tournament play very well against Manteca and Western Ranch. 2 very good teams. Western Ranch, actually, a team that had beat Emmanuel and Clovis North this season already. Very intriguing there when you look at that.
Yeah, again, they've played a very difficult schedule. Fade away, won't go, but the follow slam by Jordan Roberts.
That got the crowd up. That was an exciting, good look by Jordan Roberts to be able to come into the lane, pick off that rebound, and dunk it.
With authority. And he stared down Centennial after that one. A 3-point lead for Ridgeview. 30 seconds left in the quarter. Malcolm Johnson, top of the key for the tie.
This crowd,
this is what they came to see, Trevor.
This is exactly why people paid to come see this basketball game. These are the 2 best teams in town, and this is worth every dollar you're paying for it.
12 seconds and counting in the half. Ridgeview in a 15-15 tie, apparently holding for the final possession of the half here. McCall on the wing with the ball. 3 seconds. He'll pull up, shoot the 3. Won't get the roll, but the tip is good. Did it count? I believe the refs are counting it.
Yes, they are counting it.
Luke Clark had the tip.
Nice tip in there by the unsung 6th man for Ridgeview, a guy that gets a lot of block shots for the Wolfpack. Comes in with that rebound and the putback for 2 points, so 17-15.
That was really, really close to the buzzer. That was a tough call. One you'd love to have a replay for, but they do count it, and it makes it Ridgeview 17, Centennial 15 at the end of the first quarter. So, You come to see good basketball. You've seen some good basketball just in the 3 minutes we've been broadcasting.
And that might have been actually, you saw two different runs. You saw the early run by Centennial to take the lead. You saw the run by Ridgeview. But I think these two teams, like I said earlier, I think they finally settled into their roles. And when you've got as many great athletic basketball players on both sides, when you look at Centennial, you got Alex Check, you got Malcolm Johnson, Elijah Hill, the three leaders on that team. Then you look at the big three for Ridgeview, and Isaiah Martin, Jordan Roberts, and Justin McCall. I mean, this is a fantastic basketball game. And one that initially was not on the schedule to start the season. Both teams looking for an extra game. They saw an opening on it, and they made the right decision and gave fans of Kern County basketball a chance to see the two best teams in town this year.
And again, it's sort of like Liberty and Ridgeview in football. This is the only time they will play. Clark dribbles it off his foot, a turnover to Centennial to start the second quarter. Heavy pressure, Johnson able to bounce it off the leg of Donnie Darden.
All right,
keep
so
it with Centennial.
Pardeep Dahan, 4 points. Justin McCall, 4 points for Ridgeview. Jordan Roberts with 3. Malcolm Johnson leads all with 5 points. Elijah Hill with 4 for Centennial.
Again, if you joined us late, Elijah Hill and Scott Barksdale sparked Centennial to a 4-0 lead. There's a block by the undersized Barksdale, but Ridgeview gets it back. It's Roberts, can't get it to go. The follow won't go. A third time, and with 3 rebounds on one play, Jordan Roberts, 2 rebounds on one play, 3 shots. Jordan Roberts extends Ridgeview's lead. Now another rebound for Jordan Roberts. How many is that for him already?
5.
3 in the last 30 seconds. On the other end, cleared off the glass by Check. 19-15, Alec Check. Sporting the kind of orange blonde hair. Now Johnson has it in the corner. Barksdale can't hit. Good rebound by Johnson. Now Elijah Hill, the Frontier transfer, tries his hand. It's no good, but another Centennial offensive rebound. I think 2 Ridgeview players.
Barksdale comes in underneath to grab that rebound against 2 taller players.
It looked like they weren't sure who was going to take it, and Barksdale took it. And Alec Check gets the defender in the air and finishes his first points of the game. Centennial will look to get going. 19-17, Ridgeview in the lead now, early second quarter. You've got Zach Ewing and Trevor Horn on BVarsity Live. Elijah Hill with the steal. Coming the other way. Looked to pass, then drove, got the rebound back. And Jordan Roberts-esque puts back his own shot.
6 points now for Elijah Hill.
And
great
we're tied again.
Back for him.
6:05 to play in the first half, 19-19. Ridgeview at 13-0, Centennial at 7-8, but we know much better than that.
And that's something you didn't see at Elijah Hill previously when he was at Frontier. It's really upped his game, much more aggressive now as a Centennial player.
Roberts drains the 3. He came to play today. Ridgeview retakes the lead.
8 points now for Roberts, 5 already here in the second.
7 of the last 9 Ridgeview points by Roberts. That's a block, but a foul called against Luke Clark.
But that's exactly what Luke Clark does for Ridgeview this year. He's very much an enforcer in the middle. You come in the paint, you know that Luke Clark's going to be there. He's going to make an aggressive play at the ball.
Goes for a foul by number 35, Luke Clark.
Alec Check to the line.
At the line shooting 2, number 34, Alexander Check.
No Centennial players on the free throw blocks for this first free throw anyway. And Check misses it. Now we'll have mass substitutions. Ridgeview leading 22-19.
Josh Sides and Kendrick Barfield in for Centennial.
Looks like Pardeep Dahan came back in for Ridgeview, along with Donnie Darden. Both free throws miss, and there's the rebound to McCall. McCall averaging 16.6 points per game. A blocking foul in the paint, and Quentin Croney draws the foul. He'll go to the line.
First foul on Kyle Hunt tonight. Croney, obviously the younger brother of Sheldon Croney, who's now the running back at Iowa State. A great running back, obviously in his 3 years at Garces last year at Ridgeview before redshirting this past season for the Cyclones.
First free throw rattles home for Little Bro, 23-19.
Quentin in his own right, a great reserve player for Ridgeview.
And only a sophomore. He'll have his turn starring for this team in a couple of years, one would think. Hits both free throws here. Of course, the exciting thing, if you're a Ridgeview fan, of course, is that Justin McCall comes back and Jordan Roberts comes back next year. So you're going to have another year of this. No Isaiah Martin next year. The three from the corner, no good for Bearfield of Centennial. And Ridgeview now with a 5-point lead and a chance to extend. DeHand finds Darden, and now Croney for three. And it's no good. But Martin had a putback attempt, goes out of bounds to Centennial.
That right there is why Isaiah Martin has really kind of catapulted himself to the upper echelon of basketball players here in Kern County, because he plays so aggressive, he plays smart, and like you and I talked about for a while, he's a very, very high-end high school basketball player.
And maybe not the best college prospect on this team, but he makes them a much better high school basketball team. The college prospects, by the way, of course, Justin McCall and Jordan Roberts, and Martin to a lesser extent. Speaking of college prospects, Malcolm Johnson to Elijah Hill. Across the floor now, Melton taking the ball in the paint. He's more of an outside shooter. He does find his man, though, and the shooter, Kendrick Bearfield, with the three.
Scott Barksdale.
Excuse me, number 3, not number 1.
That's okay, Zach. It's your first game out this year.
It's a skinny number 3, Looks like a 1. Barksdale with the 3 to cut the lead to 24-22 Ridgeview. 4:29 to play in the second quarter. DeHand back to Roberts. Can't get the bounce. McCall with the miss. Johnson dribbled it off his foot, and they're going to call timeout. I'm not so sure that wasn't over and back. I don't know that a Ridgeview player ever touched that, but they give Centennial the timeout. Lewis may have seen better than us whether that actually touched a Ridgeview player. It looked like a straight over and back to me. Centennial calling its first timeout, trailing 24-22. Again, as we have time to catch our breath just for a minute, Centennial got out to an 8-2 lead. Actually, it was a 6-2 lead on a Malcolm Johnson fadeaway. And then a few minutes later, Elijah Hill's jumper made it 8-4. But Ridgeview scored the next 5 points. They scored 9 of the next 10 points. They took a 4-point lead at 13-9 before Kyle Hunt's three-pointer cut that to a 1-point lead. Ridgeview led by 2 after a quarter. They lead by 2 now, halfway through the second quarter. Alec Check probing the defense. Passes to Doherty. Doherty thought about it. Now Hill to Check in the corner, no good. Offensive rebound again, Malcolm Johnson. Back to Hill. Hill will fire and hit. A 3 from the corner, and Centennial retakes the lead. How many second chance points for both teams in this game? Johnson had it momentarily, but Ridgeview comes away with it, and then Check blocks Roberts. Ball falls to Martin, and he's fouled. Fast and furious action. The Centennial student section loves it. Martin will go to the line.
That three-pointer for Elijah Hill gives him the game-high 9 points. Jordan Roberts now with 8 and 5 rebounds for Ridgeview.
So Martin to the line. That was the first foul on Malcolm Johnson. Martin can tie the game with this. He gets the roll, and he can give Ridgeview the lead if he hits the second one.
Short ends at front, so it remains tied 25-25 with 3:35 left here in the second quarter.
It's already the 5th tie of this game.
But a lane violation will keep Martin at the line.
And if Martin could hit the second try here, it would be our 3rd lead change already. And there it is. 26-25 Ridgeview.
Good players take advantage of missed opportunities, and that's exactly what he did there.
Inside of 3:30 to play, first half, 26-25, Ridgeview leading Centennial here on BVarsity Live. Andrew Doherty turns around, finds Melton in the middle, and he'll draw the foul.
Zach Doherty, nice look there in to find Joel Melton. He'll go to the line. That's something that Doherty brings to the table, too. He's a very good basketball player, tall, kind of that post player that Centennial uses off the bench.
Joel Melton averages 11.4 points per game, has not scored tonight. He's at the line looking to tie the game again. He gets the roll, and it's our 6th tie of the night.
It's quite incredible when you look at both of these teams. Centennial obviously has hit the Centennial mark. They scored 100 on Mission Oak earlier this season in a tournament play. And Ridgeview has scored over 90 on a few occasions this year, including Tuesday night against Garces.
We're not quite on that pace here. Ridgeview turns the ball over. Up ahead to Elijah Hill. What an outlet pass from Malcolm Johnson, and Hill finishes with a flourish. 3-point lead for Centennial.
What an addition for Centennial to get Hill in from Frontier.
And Prevost can't handle Roberts' baseball pass. Another turnover for Ridgeview. And Michael Martin wants timeout. Ridgeview needs to calm down just a bit here.
And that's the biggest thing. As great as Malcolm Johnson and Alec Check are, when it was first heard that Elijah Hill was transferring, a lot of people really considered Elijah to turn into the best basketball player on this Centennial team. He does have an offer from Fresno Pacific, and he is. I mean, when you see the way he plays as a 5-tool player, he can play running the point. He's great in the post. He's got a 3-point shot. He's aggressive. He's great on defense, as we saw Tuesday night against Fresno High. Centennial had an 18-point lead. It dwindled all the way down to 3, and it was Hill who had a block shot and then a steal on the Warriors' final 2 possessions to seal the victory for Centennial. So when you see a player with that much talent doing the dirty work and doing it on the defensive end, at the crucial time in a basketball game, that shows a lot of mettle for that guy.
Well, interesting there. Ridgeview called the timeout. Centennial's on a 10-2 run. But it was the Wolfpack that was out of the timeout very quickly while Hernan Santiago talked to the Golden Hawks for the entire length of the timeout. So makes you think maybe Michael Martin's message was very short and simple. Take care of the basketball. Centennial gets it back because Ridgeview had turned it over 3 consecutive times. 2:50 to play in the second quarter, and Centennial on that 10-2 run now leads by 3. Hill nearly lost it, gets it to Melton. Melton will fire from the left wing. Not this time. Rebound, McCall. Justin McCall's father coaching just down the road at Cal State tonight.
Currently,
the
yes.
CSUB women facing Chicago State. That game just started. Almost another turnover for Ridgeview. It is another turnover for Ridgeview. 4 in a row.
3rd steal for Johnson.
And a beautiful outlet pass there to Hill, but he can't finish, and will come the other way. 2nd foul on Malcolm Johnson called on the floor. McCall drew it. It'll be ball out of bounds for Ridgeview. 2:13 to play. That's the 6th team foul of this half on Centennial.
Anthony Alcaides getting in his first action of the game for Ridgeview. Obviously, we know him as a football player for the Wolfpack. Coming in for Pardeep Dahand.
And Malcolm Johnson staying in the game for Centennial with 2 fouls. So keep an eye on that. He cannot pick up a 3rd here, or Centennial would have some real foul trouble in the second half. 29-26 Golden Hawks. Just over 2 minutes to play now, second quarter, excuse me. And it's Alcade inside, the ball taken away by Hill. 5 straight Ridgeview possessions with turnovers, and Centennial will run again. Malcolm Johnson can't finish, but Doherty cleans it up. Andrew Doherty with his first points, and it is the biggest lead of the night for Centennial, 31-26.
Zach Doherty.
Zach Doherty, Andrew's younger brother. Don't think it is Andrew's younger brother, actually. I think they just have the same last name. Former Centennial star playing football at Air Force. Offensive rebound, Roberts. Another offensive rebound for McCall, and his putback will go. Ridgeview needed that after a couple of misses.
Long
and
outlet
falling behind by 5, and there's Daugherty again. And again, it's for a 5-point Centennial lead, 33-28, 1:09 to play first half. Rise and fire and bank it in. Why don't you, Isaiah Green? Think he called that one?
Keith, you got any deposit slips for us? Because I don't think he called that bank.
33-31 Centennial after the 3 by Green. Daugherty was not ready for that pass, but able to catch it anyway off his cheekbone. Hill now had his pass deflected, still got it to Daugherty, who missed, and it's going to be a foul against Ridgeview. That's their 5th team foul, only 38 seconds remaining in this half.
great court vision there by Elijah Hill to find Doherty, because the way it looked, like he came up all the way to about to his face and then dished it off. I thought he was going to go for the three the whole time. And at first I thought it was a block, and then you saw the ball go in underneath.
I think Zach Daugherty thought maybe the previous pass was a shot too. He wasn't ready for it. 33-31 Centennial with the lead and the ball. About an 8-second difference between game and shot clock here. Johnson doesn't worry about that. He'll fire. And now, if they want to, Ridgeview could hold, but they're in transition. Ball lost out of bounds by Green, and Centennial will keep it. Now the Golden Hawks could hold for one. 27.5 seconds left in the half. And it looks like that is Hernan Santiago's instructions to his point guard, Alec Check. The shot clock in the building, by the way, not working on one side, so they're using a manual shot clock. Hill slipped, kept his feet under 10 seconds now. 33-31, Centennial by 2, 5 seconds. Into the high post, Johnson looking for help. He's triple teamed and loses it, and that is going to end the half. So good defense in the final possession by Ridgeview. And the first half comes to an end rather unceremoniously with Centennial. A late run, an 11-2 run gave them a 5-point lead, and they settle for a 2-point lead at the half. Centennial 33, Ridgeview